Hi everyone and welcome. If you have such requirement in which you want to log your OPCDA server data in the SQL database, then we have one solution for you. Okay, you can directly use our application to log your OPCDA data in the SQL server. So let's see the demo and let's see how our application is going to work. So this is our application. You can install this application in your system, okay, in the Windows system, and you will find this application in the start menu. So you just have to double click here to open the application, or you can say to launch the application. After launching the application, you will see the main screen like this. Okay, here you have to provide few details. So first of all, you have to provide the OPCDA tag file path. So in that CSV file, you will provide the list of OPCDA server tag which you want to read and which you want to log in the SQL database. Okay, so let's see how this file should be created. So here is my tag list for process OPCDA server. Okay, you can see here the first column is for address. Okay, this is for tag address. So we have OPC connection, the server is in the local host, and the server name is process.opc.simulation, and the tag I want to read is random.psinteger1, and here is the actual tag name. Okay, so this is how you have to create this file. In the first column you have to provide the address of your tag, and in the second column you have to provide the tag name. Okay, so this is how you have to create this CSV file, and once you create this CSV file, you just have to provide the CSV file path here. So I am going to provide this file path process OPCDA server tag list. Okay, then after you have to provide the SQL table name and the data source name. Okay, so if I open my MySQL workbench, so first we are going to log our data in the MySQL database, and then we will log our data in the MS SQL database. Okay, so here is my MySQL workbench. You can see the local instance, the username is root, and you can see the server connection like localhost colon 3306. Okay, here you can see I have three tables, and here is my database, which is test database, and inside the test database I have three tables, and I want to log my data in this table OPCDA underscore data. Okay, you can see this is already selected and the query is already built here, and you can see the column timestamp, tag, value, and the quality. Okay, we have four columns. So I want to log my OPCDA data in this table. So first of all, I have to provide this table name here. Okay, OPCDA underscore data copied, and I have to paste it here. After that, you just have to match the table columns. Okay, timestamp, tag, value, and the quality. Okay, it should be matched here with here. Okay, then after you have to provide the data source name, okay, which you have to create from ODBC connection. So you can search for ODBC in your start menu, and you can open ODBC data source 32-bit. Okay, then after you have to go to system DSN, and here you can see I have created three DSN: MS SQL 32-bit DSN, MySQL 32-bit DSN, and MySQL 64-bit DSN. Okay, and right now we are going to log our data in the MySQL database, so we will see the configuration of MySQL 32-bit of DSN. I am going to use 32-bit of platform because my application is the build on 32-bit of architecture, so that is why I have to use 32-bit of DSN here. So if you double click here, then you will see the data source name. Okay, I have to provide the data source name here, and the same data source name I have to provide here. Okay, I hope that is clear to you. Then after TCP IP server, so MySQL server IP address and the port number I have to provide here. I have already show you that here you can see localhost colon 3306. Okay, so localhost stands for 127.0.0.1 and the port number is 3306. The username is root, and I have provided the password here, and you can see the database is test, as you can see here as well. We have a test database, and inside the test database we have OPCDA underscore data table. Okay, so we have to create the connectivity here, and once you test it, you can see connection successful. So this is mandatory. If the connection is not successful, then this software is not able to log the data in your MySQL database. Okay, so that's it. After that, yeah, you have to set the logging interval. So at what interval you want to log your data. So logging interval is 5 seconds. You can change as per your requirement. And yeah, that's it. Here you will see the number of tag which we have provided and number of tag address which we have provided. Okay, so here you will see the number of tag address which we have provided in this CSV file and number of tag name which we have provided in the CSV file. You will see the numbers here. This should be equal, otherwise it can um, effect on the wrong side. After that, you will see the recent data read timestamp here. So if you have selected the data logging interval as a 5 second, then every 5 second this timestamp should be updated. Okay, and here you will see the error. Okay, if any error occurs while reading the data from OPCDA server or logging the data in the MySQL database, then you will see this error here. Now we can start our application. You can see process OPC server is running. Number of tag name we have provided is 8. Number of tag address we have provided is 8. And you can see it will read data at every 5 seconds. Okay, 18 plus 5 23, 23 plus 5 again 28. Okay, now I can open my MySQL workbench. I can run this query, and here you can see we have a data. Okay, so every 5 seconds it will read the data from this process OPCDA simulation server, and it will log the data inside this database and inside the OPCDA underscore data table. Okay, you can see here. Also you can search for the count, that how much count we have. So we have 96 count. After 5 seconds we will have more counts. Okay, 104 count. Okay, again after 5 seconds we will have more counts. So every 5 seconds it will log our data in the database. You can see 13. Okay, now if I search, okay, run, then you can see 120 count. Okay, so this is how it will log my data in the MySQL database. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear. Now also we can use same configuration and we can start logging data in the MS SQL database. So let me open SQL Server Management Studio for a Microsoft SQL Server database. Okay, I have to go to database. Here is my test database, and here is my tables, and here is my OPCDA underscore data table. Okay, you can see the table is empty. Okay, now I want to start logging the data in the MS SQL database. Okay, so I have to just stop this process. Okay, now instead of this DSN, I just have to change the DSN which is connected to this Microsoft SQL Server. So I have to search for ODBC data source. Okay, you can see Microsoft SQL 32-bit of DSN. Now if you click on the configure, then you can see the DSN name here. Okay, I can copy the DSN name from here to here. Okay, and here is my SQL server. Okay, and then after I have to press next, and here is my database. You can see the test database, which you can also see here, test database, and everything is as it is. I can test the data source, and you can see test completed successfully. Okay, so we are able to connect with the Microsoft SQL Server. So now I can start logging the data in Microsoft SQL Server database using this DSN. Okay, so I have copied the DSN name here. All I have to do is I have to change the SQL table name. Okay, you can see here we have SQL table name is like OPCDA underscore data. So I have to copy this table name, I have to paste it here, and here I have to check for the columns. So the first column is timestamp, second column is tag, third column is value, and the fourth column is quality. Okay, now I can start logging my data in the Microsoft server, Microsoft SQL server. So I just have to run this application. Okay, we have some error inserting data. Okay, error is gone, it is connected. Okay, now I can run this query, and here you will see we have data. Okay, You can see number of row 30 rows. Okay, every 5 seconds we have a row. You can see 38 rows. After 5 seconds we have again 8 rows. Okay, you can see 46 rows. Okay, so this is how it will continuously read the data from our process OPC DA simulation server, and it will continuously log the data in the MS SQL database. Okay, you just have to provide the DSN. Okay, and you just have to provide the SQL table name, and you just have to run this application, and it will start logging the data, start reading the data from OPC DA server. Okay, so this is how this application is going to work. You can log your data in any SQL database which support this ODBC connection. Okay, so any database which support this ODBC connection, either it can be your MS Access database, it can be your Microsoft SQL Server, MS MySQL database, Oracle database, anything. Okay, so you just have to create a DSN here, system DSN, okay, for 32-bit platform, and you have to provide it here. You just have to select the table name, and you just have to hit this run button to start logging your data in no time. So it will continuously log your data. You can see the number of row is 158. Okay, so this is how this application is going to work. It will continuously log your data in database without any interruption, and you just have to leave this application as it is. No one can close it. Okay, and if you want to disable this button, or if you want to customize anything, if there is an error occur, okay, and if you want to send the notification to Telegram or email or Microsoft Team, then also we can configure this application. Okay, it's a customized application. If you have such a requirement, then we can customize this application based on your requirement. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear, that how you can use this application to log your OPCDA data in the SQL server. It can be any SQL server, it can be Oracle database, or it can be MS SQL database, MySQL database, MS Access database, anything. Okay, even you can create a DSN for SQLite database, and also you can log your data in the SQLite database as well. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear, and if you still have any question or confusion, then you can always ping me on Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp, or also you can email me. And if you want to buy this application, if you want to create your own custom application, then also you can always reach out to me. Okay, so we will meet you in the next video. Till then, take care, goodbye, and thank you.